Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show.
Never before has one radio show been so extreme. So vulgar.
Fuck you, I'm not a pussy.
I was accustomed to getting blown and having my ass eaten.
This is insane. I mean, this is insane.
So flatulent.
Why do we even try? Let's just fart into the mics and call it a day.
This is the funniest shit ever.
It's a weird show.
That's what's real. That's sex.
Tune in with no expectations.
Quite simply, the greatest show in the history of broadcasting.
Here we are, the Opie and Anthony Show.
Another 4 hours of love.
You guys having a good time or what?
Yeah, check, check it. I'm up early in the morning, yawning. Put Opie Anthony, yeah, Jimmy Tranny pointing. Opie like brother man, Ant wants to join the clan. Jimmy on the other hand, he working the other hand.
Turn my headphones up.
There are horrible people to say in this old objectionable human beings, and I want you to know unacceptable to my scene, but I'll give it a go. 50 Cent, Larry King, Opie and Anthony Show.
Go. I know you feeling the flow, while Opie's mother hucking, Jim's trying to get blown. Then we come to play around and we still in the show. I know you never heard nothing like this before.
How important is the board? Bored you'll never be, and don't worry about getting shot when you're with Anthony. Oh yeah, on the edge of your chair. Cause you really want to hear Opie, Anthony, and Jimmy. Just keep it right here.
It's the Opie and Anthony Show.
Yeah, the Opie and Anthony Show.
Yeah, check it. It's the Opie and Anthony Show. Yeah.
It's the Opie and Anthony Show.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, now Mike Tyson up in this bitch. It's the Opie and Anthony Show.
Enough of this palaver. Let's get this show on the road.
Yeah, let's do that. Good morning, everyone. It's the Opie and Anthony Show, the Friday edition. It was 50 years ago today.
That Sergeant Pepper taught his band to play.
Yeah.
Something?
Yeah, that's one of the 50-year things.
It's 20, I think, right?
20 years?
Yeah. That's
Well, now it's about $50, is what I'm
Probably.
saying. If you think about it, really.
Yes.
Actually, it's 40. All right.
All right. It's the Kennedy assassination.
50 years ago today, and I just tweeted. The Daily News did a really good job today. The Post got lazy. The Post has 3 pages from 50 years ago. The Daily
Just
News,
of the Kennedy assassination.
right? But the Daily News said, you know what? Why don't we just reprint the whole fucking paper from 50 years ago?
Yeah.
And it's great because besides the JFK stuff, you really get a look at what life was about 50 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
The paper itself was 5 cents.
5 cents? That's an outrage.
And after 50 years, it's only $1 now. That's not too bad, I think.
Why would you pay even 5 cents if you could just get the online version?
Oh, that's
See,
right.
because
There wasn't one.
What happened was then...
It starts out Kennedy assassinated. Johnson
What?
sworn as president.
Oh.
Leftist jailed as slayer.
Leftist. See, you lefties, you're always causing trouble.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Got the Daily Almanac. They won't forget the day.
What was the Dow at on that day? Because we just broke 16,000 on the Dow.
They had 100. I think it was 100 listed stocks.
Wow.
But I don't see an actual total for the Dow that day. Wait. This is kind of hard to read, actually. Most active stocks are 2.5 cents.
It's probably like the company that made whites-only fountain signs. Made a fortune.
Chrysler closed at 78, a little over 78, with a change of 2.25, looks like.
Chrysler.
Most active stocks, Chrysler, Sperry round, it looks like.
Sperry? Yeah, that's like a military
Ford
thing.
Motors up there, RCA's up there.
RCA.
American Motors. It was all about the car
It was
company.
all fucking cars, man. That was the shit.
U.S. Steel.
U.S. We're bigger than U.S. Steel.
Looks like they closed at 45, I think. It's hard to read this. General Motors, the Studebaker stock.
Studebaker. I wish I would have held on to that.
And Xerox.
Xerox?
And Xerox.
Xerox. Get it?
Not many of those companies still doing well today.
No. Xerox is doing okay.
They're hanging in there.
They're doing all right.
They're reinventing themselves a bit.
I bet they never knew the government would have had to have bailed out all those
car
top
companies
stocks there.
What about Studebaker?
The old Studebaker.
But they only closed it. Looks like $6.
Oh, just cheap shit.
I think. I don't know.
Market closed early due to the assassination, November 22nd. The Dow was at 711.
711.
That's something. And now we just cracked 16,000.
Unbelievable.
On the Dow.
The president is assassinated as Dallas multitude hails him. Leftists accused of murders of Kennedy and Dallas cop. Final events of his life. They have the whole schedule you had that day.
And they really, God, it's so weird because in hindsight, you just 50 years later, people are still debating what happened and everything.
Right.
And there's the paper, which is like, here's the news.
They got the picture from where Oswald was, though, right
yeah?
away. And they're pointing at the car or another car.
Like, here's
kind of showing that you could make the shot. Sniper assassinated President Kennedy from this window. The president's car was at upper right arrow. I don't know. Okay. Texas Governor John Connally was seriously injured by sniper's bullet.
He's okay.
And then this is kind of horrible. A last kiss on the lips of her dead husband.
Oh, Jesus.
It says...
shocking.
Representative Henry B. Gonzalez of San Antonio said tonight he watched the nation's first lady, caked with blood, kiss her lifeless husband on the lips in a last goodbye and take the ring off her finger and place it on his. I couldn't take it, Gonzalez said. I walked away.
I couldn't take it.
Minutes later, Gonzalez said 4 attendants wheeled the bronze coffin containing the body of JFK out of Dallas Parkland Hospital for the last trip home.
Man.
And then, of course, they just move on right away. It's fucked up. They already start hosing shit down.
Hose it down.
Because we talk about this. Talented Lady Bird is now the first lady.
Lady Bird.
They're already moving forward.
What kind of fucking name was that?
She kind of looked like a bird, though. Kind of fit, I think.
Look who it is. Holy
Ronnie
shit.
B.
This is, what a treat.
What a nice
this
surprise.
Is. What a treat this is on the...
Welcome, sir.
Happy 50th.
Happy 50th.
Happy 50th.
Happy 50th, Ron.
50 years.
The Daily News reprinted the entire paper from 50 years ago.
No, you've stepped into some kind of a time continuum.
Yeah.
We were all just going to go around the table and have recollections of where we were and what we would do. I literally shit myself when I heard.
Did you?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shit and pissed myself, and I couldn't even take care of it myself. My own mother had to clean me up. That's how...
You were distraught.
That's how
you were
fucked up
distraught that day.
I was.
Good to get that water I was looking
Crazy.
for. Nice and warm.
You like the cold water? We got some cold water. Whatever you want, Ronnie B.
It's been 50 years since the Protestants killed the President of the United States.
Wow.
Right.
50 years.
Going out on a limb there.
Well, you know, they wanted to wear shorts to church. Good. You happy now? Now you got it.
No one really pushed that angle over the years, the shorts angle. I know Vietnam. People thought maybe Vietnam.
That's a hell of an angle.
Casual thing.
The mob, because him and his brother organized crime. But shorts. All right, I'm in.
Hey, you know how they are. You know how Protestants are.
Yeah,
they don't believe in any formalities like we do.
They're a little strange. They always were when we were growing up.
Sure. Publix.
They weren't all in with their
Those
religion.
fucking public kids.
Well, we're talking from the future now. It says they'll never forget the day JFK was shot. We're here to tell you, kids, we're still remembering
50 years ago. I like all the booze ads in the paper.
Of course you like the booze ads.
A lot of booze ads.
You could get some Canadian Club for $6.55 a bottle.
That was good.
That's kind of expensive for
Go
back
home,
then.
smack the wife around.
New president, hard driving, soft spoken, old political pro.
Oh.
Then they got the death every 20 years of a president.
Yeah, it didn't work out after this one.
Well,
They almost got
18
Reagan.
They almost got Reagan.
Almost got him.
Reagan was 80, right?
81.
Was it 80 or
I'm
81?
almost positive 81. He elected in 80.
80, yeah.
Anthony shit himself that day.
Yes,
boy,
I
did he.
remember once again, I shit myself and had to have my mom clean me up again.
Schools will mourn is in the paper.
yeah,
of course they're going to mourn. Let's see what else we got
Were there
here.
grief counselors in the school, or just the gym teacher saying "suck it up"?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we love the old days.
Yeah, we don't come.
Now there's grief counselors. If
Right.
a fucking kid gets a haircut that looks ugly, they have to have the grief counselors come in. And now,
I remember
Back
when
then,
a
forget
principal died of a scuba diving accident. You're right. No grief counselors. We're all just losing our minds. We didn't understand death yet.
That gym
They just make the
teacher.
announcement and like, okay, so anyway, we're going to, have gym class soon.
that gym teacher, I remember that left
From
to
Nam.
go to the Nam, and he came back and visited the school in his uniform in the cafeteria, and everybody was like all proud of him. And then we heard what happened to him. Oh boy,
Not good.
another name on that big fucking wall, and there's no grief counseling. It was just that's what happens.
Now, Kennedy was hit first as governor's wife. Okay, so that's the magic bullet thing,
What does
right?
she know?
Legal steal. There's cartoons. But then it gets good, Ronnie. You get a glimpse of life from 50 years ago. You could buy a house for $15,000.
And of course, there's no Negroes in the neighborhood. Thank goodness.
A wonderful neighborhood called Brookwood, somewhere in the New York area. It's $16,000 to $20,000. You could get yourself a crib.
That's pretty righteous.
As little as $600 down for non-veterans,
$600.
and as little
600 down, and you're like, I got a house. I just bought a house.
and as little as $120 monthly payments.
How are you gonna fucking
Dude, a house,
scrape up that kind of scratch?
a house.
Cable money.
Cable.
I wonder if we could look up this house in Huntington because that's where we're sort of from.
No, it's the Huntington. It's
They call
type
it the
of house.
Huntington, right?
Yeah. I looked-
okay.
They tricked me too.
Oh, you thought it was a house in
Yeah,
Huntington?
I
like
thought it was
me?
a house in
Okay,
Huntington.
All right. You could get this house for $130 a month. Holy
Yeah.
shit. Why didn't we understand real estate back then?
Well, I was a kid.
I didn't even. I didn't even understand blocks yet. You're
If
right.
I would have gone up and kind of tried to convey to my dad to buy real estate,
Right.
he probably would have smacked me and called me a faggot.
Hey,
What
here
are
we
you
go.
doing? Get to work.
Where am I going to get $600?
$600. Why don't you get it out of your mother? Oh, okay, Dad.
Sam just looked up Brookwood. It's still a rocking little area of townhouses.
How much?
So back in the day, you could get one for $16,000 to $20,000. Now, what are they going for?
$12,000 and another for $11,000. You're falling off there. Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, boy.
It's all rentals now.
Yeah.
Oh, rentals.
Yeah, they even closed the train station. It's sad what happens.
Yeah.
You know what that
Used
means?
to- used
the
to be
neighbor
nice.
went to shit.
Yeah, it
If
used
it's
to be
just
nice.
Rentals.
Oh, that's
Oh,
bad
boy.
then.
Oh, boy.
They probably
All
had
right, all right, during the ad, they're playing the knockout game. There's no way.
That's probably not a good neighborhood.
There's no way.
It cost us a lot of money to clean up the radon in the basements. Back in the mid-'60s, we found out there was radon.
You know, if you look at this paper, people's eyes must have been better back then. Look how tiny the print is.
Very good.
Print is microscopic.
It really is hard to read.
Really small.
That's what they
Is
didn't
that the
want you to
whole
know.
paper, or is that just, do you think they just...
It's pretty much, they're saying it's the whole paper.
Well, the movies are in there and everything,
And
so...
the funny paper, there's actually like a comic in the back.
Read the funny papers.
You could do the jumble. Jumbo? Whatever. Jumble from 50 years ago. You could get an engagement ring. But it's only a quarter carat.
Oh,
that's
wow.
that's like a
Pretty
chip.
cheap. Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, yeah, of course.
But you could get a engagement ring for $69.
$69.
$250 down, and then you have to pay $1.75 weekly.
You know what? Say what you want, but I'm going to run over to 52nd Street and catch Jack Lemmon in Under the Yum Yum Tree. Oh, does that just sound terrible?
Awful.
What'd you go see last night? Yeah, I went to see Under the Yum Yum Tree. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. It's about a tree made of vaginas.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow. And then right next to it's like porno listings. Can you believe they... Like the paper now, they would not even put a porno listing in. And it's right next to Under the Yum Yum Tree. You have Naked Autumn.
Ooh, let's look up Naked Autumn.
Adult in the purest sense of the word. What does that even mean? Adult.
In the purest sense of the word, that means they showed, pubic hair.
You think that's what it was?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they were doing pubes, were they?
They showed pubic hair. They didn't show an insertion, though.
First New York showing of Traveling Lights. And the amorous sex for the sophisticated adult.
Sophisticated adult?
How sophisticated did you have to be to sit in a theater and probably crank one out?
You'll like the guy that blew John Voight in Midnight Cowboy. Fucking cranking angrily.
Lee Remick and James Garner in the Wheeler Dealers at Radio City Music Hall.
Did you see the Traveling Light? Did you say that one?
Oh, yeah.
Join nudists at play. See beautiful sun-kissed maidens frolic in natural...
Au natural.
Oh, okay, that's what it says. In the waters of the exotic isle of Corsica.
That sounds horrible.
Why? That was on 49th Street.
Oh, yeah, well, that
east of 7th Avenue. Wait a minute.
That whole area was great.
Wait a minute, that's pretty much where we're broadcasting from.
Yeah. Oh, wow, we're Traveling Lights.
Yeah.
We're right around here.
That's like 5th, right?
We're close to where they used to have the Traveling Light.
Damn, yeah.
Oh, wait, we are east of...
Yes, we are.
Yeah, 6th Avenue. It's
yes,
probably
we are.
Right where we are.
It's pretty much where we're broadcasting today. What else?
They had those until a few years ago. Me and my friend Philippe, when I worked at Christoph Silver, used to look at the porno listings and always giggle at Cinema David, which was the gay porno house. And we would just read like the fucking gay porn names to each other and laugh.
Oh, nice.
But that was 20 years ago, 25 years ago, but that wasn't that long ago.
Well, this is nice. Apparently, South Vietnam's ruling junta of generals suspended 31 high-ranking military officials. Good thing we won't have to get wrapped up in that.
Sure.
You know, they're taking care of their own business there in South Vietnam.
Look at this. It's 50th birthday party for Cousin Brucey. So that's...
wow, cousins.
They just got him a toupee. This is great.
His first toupee. That's, pretty novel idea. I kind of like that. I remember going into school library and stuff, and they would have old newspapers, and you could... check out what was going on.
That was always kind of fun to do.
Yeah.
Did you see the sports section?
Not one black guy.
Well, there's a couple interesting things about sports. First of all, the NHL only had 6 teams.
Yeah.
Chicago, Montreal, Toronto, Detroit, the Rangers, and Boston. That was it.
Wow.
50 years ago. And then the NBA only had like 9 teams.
Yeah.
And then
all white guys too.
Then they were debating something with Negroes. It says here.
What happened?
Negroes, Bowl Ducks issue. Mobile, Alabama. A senior Bowl spokesman declined specific comments today on whether Negroes will be invited to play in the annual football All-Star game in January.
Wow. I hope not. Jesus.
You're hoping they made the right decision back then?
Because the truth of the matter is, I don't see how the Negro can excel at the game of football. I don't think we're ever going to see it.
The game will be played as scheduled January 4th, and as far as we know, it will be televised as planned.
Televised?
The spokesman said.
Televised football games back then must have just looked like shit.
Yeah.
They were just a camera in one seat. You know what I mean? It's like you bought a ticket to a game, and they just had a stationary camera.
Yeah, stationary camera. The field's too big for those cameras. I mean, even baseball looked like shit.
Oh, they were debating if they were going to cancel the television coverage of the game because
if there was a Negro?
Negroes are not invited to play.
Wow.
Oh, well, somebody was...
The network previously canceled national television coverage of the Blue-Gray game for the same reason.
See, the media was always in there going, we got to help out the black man.
Even the way they phrase it back then, the Negro is not invited to play, as opposed to you'll be shot if you walk through this door. Not invited.
That does sound very pleasant.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, what happened? I wasn't invited.
Yeah.
I didn't get an invitation.
Oh, my God.
It was a whole nother time.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Different time.
Sure.
And there's an advice thing in here also. There's a lot of little advice things. And one said that you should light your lady's cigarette first. Because,
very nice.
Because a lot of men speculated, should I light my own cigarette first? Because the match's sulfur kind of flares up and it's offensive. But the newspaper said, no, just because there's a little sulfur on the match, that's not enough of a reason to not do the polite thing and give your loved one a little of the old cancer first.
Well, and it's also because if a sniper was stalking you, when the light went up, it would blow her brains out.
Her face.
Yeah.
Old school.
My God. I think that's about it.
Yeah, 50 years. And it's not like the news is all over it today. It's kind of nice. A lot of new specials out. They always find some new footage.
Yeah.
Try to get a different angle on the whole thing. I do like that composite they put together where they stabilized the Zapruder film video. It looks pretty. It's pretty cool.
It makes it even
Enhanced,
more brutal.
When did they do it?
Seen that yet?
Stabilized.
Very recently.
I saw a few years ago. They're always like showing the little sprocket holes. Every few years,
No,
they do
this
something
one
with
is
the
like
Zapruder film.
they
brutal.
They figured out how to stabilize the image so it's not shaky, and then
It's at the IMAX now. It's in 3D. It's really nice.
It's amazing on the big screen. You'll think you were there.
Did anyone ever question Jackie?
I don't think Jackie ever got interrogated.
She was close.
She was right there
with a Derringer. Who would have thought?
Yeah, who actually did they look at her purse after? It's a great question. It could have been her.
I don't think that's it, sir. There's Sam Roberts.
That's Oliver Stone's movie, you idiot.
It's
oh wow.
It's this Zapruder film, and it's what do they call it? Image stabilized.
Yeah,
stabilized.
The news covers like the Daily News had Kennedy assassinated, but the Post, JFK shot to death. It's just such a harsh
shot to death.
That's just such a harsh cover, man.
Yeah, that is.
So they were always in that world, huh?
I mean, I don't think they meant it to be tabloid.
There, yeah.
It's just a harsh. It's just a really a shocking way of reading it.
Here it is. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
I thought. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, there it is.
Stabilized it.
Beep, beep, beep. There he goes. Up, and the money shot. Boom! Oh. There it is.
I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he should be fine.
Wow.
Merely a flesh wound.
Wow.
That really is just a fucking
brutal shot.
Horrible thing to see.
Wow.
Fucking.
Do you remember Clint Hill? Did you guys talk to Clint Hill when he was in?
No.
Was talking about how he was holding onto the back of the car.
Yeah.
And he could look down inside the president's head.
He probably knew right then and there. Like, yeah.
You think?
This ain't gonna this ain't gonna wash.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Wow. Yeah. You know. I guess there's a bunch of the next big batch of classified documents that are being released is
just release all of them.
2017.
What could they possibly be fucking holding on to?
2017. I don't know. The thing is, at the time they lock these things up, and there's no looking at them to see. Well, maybe we could declassify them a little before that.
Well, that's a good point.
So at the time there could be things, national security issues.
Well, how about we can now go back over and redo that?
Well, maybe, yeah.
How about we have...
Yeah, we roll now, right?
Yeah, we could go in there and go, well, you're going to invalidate that nonsense.
Oh, it's like a little time capsule. Oh, look, we pulled out a fucking bottle of Yoo-Hoo in a Super Bowl. You know, shit like that.
It's kind of dumb.
But can't we just go in there and get that stuff? I mean, you're going to tell me that there's people, they can't just vote on it and grab everything?
You think there's a guy that gets to just read all that shit, though?
I would think that people get to read that shit.
Oh, the overnight guy.
Yeah, the overnight guy can get a lot done.
Well, look at yes. There's Oswald and Johnson splitting a sandwich. do you guys hold on to the conspiracy stuff, or
I don't know. After a while, you're so inundated with it that you just say, "No, it was just him, one guy." Yeah. I think it was just him.
Yeah,
but who the fuck?
I've kind of gone in that direction too.
Because no one really talked. Everyone talks in the end.
Yeah, but you know,
on your deathbed or something, you go, all right, here, look, this is what I got.
But the fact that Ruby took him out there and was able to get up close, I'm going to go back over some of this stuff.
Go read the paper.
I think that's
the paper.
That'll be tomorrow's paper, the Jack Ruby stuff, right?
Some guy on the bench one time. I sat in a park and we were talking about it.
Did you?
Yeah, and I said, I don't know what's. I said I wanted to really bring the truth to light, and he said, "Truth's on your side, Bubba."
It's great. You look like the tank driver from Kelly's Heroes.
Yeah, I was a conspiracy guy for a long time. I believed a lot. I read David Lifton's book. I read all these. Yeah. That was a great one about the medical evidence. But they always miss. There's always that one critical fucking gap they can't fill. Like David Lifton had all these brilliant things about what Commander James Hume said and how they might have been interpreted, and things the FBI agents said when they were in the room that could have been that there was certain because James Hume said it appears there's been surgery about the head, because of Parkland. So there's all this medical conspiracy, and then you have to figure out when they did the surgery on the head.
There wasn't time.
Here's when it would have had to have been done. In the limo before before they actually got there. Or in the fucking, he came to the conclusion that they did the surgery in Air Force One, going from Dallas to Bethesda, and it's like, no, they didn't. Stupid. They didn't fucking operate on the president's brain in the air on the plane. And they didn't do it.
You don't think so?
No, they
huh?
didn't.
No, they didn't.
No, they did not. Robert Kennedy, I think, was on the plane on a jacket. They did not go in there and fix everything up.
Scalpel. Hand me a scalpel.
Because they didn't know what they'd need to do. We know, time in that moment, they didn't know they were going to need that bullet or how much fragment shit was going to be found. They didn't know any of that stuff.
What happened to his brain? Apparently, Kennedy's brain went missing.
I think Robert Kennedy had it, and they said the next night they buried something with him. I think it was Robert Kennedy.
You think they
He
buried
took his own brother's brain.
I don't know why they have it.
Oh, that's kind of creepy.
Horror movie shit.
What do you
right
think,
there.
Ronnie?
Yeah.
You know what? There's never been a time in this country that a majority of people believed that it was a one-person thing. The day after, 52% of the people thought it stunk.
Really?
Yeah. And now I think we're like 70%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that number moves around depending on what evidence pops out.
It just really goes to show that we don't believe anybody.
Right,
You know?
right.
All the shit that we're taught about greatest country in the world and all that stuff we hear when we're kids.
We don't buy it.
We don't believe it, really. We say it, but we do not believe it.
I think it's more that people don't like the feeling like they have no control over something. Yeah. They feel like one guy can do that, then you're so vulnerable. That was the 9/11 conspiracy theorists, too. They hate to think that a bunch of savages over in some country, as long as they have a little bit of money, can come over here and fly planes into our buildings. So it has to be some grander scheme, or else we're all pretty vulnerable. Yeah.
The idea
That's
that
my
this great
stupid
man
opinion.
can be taken down by this fucking nobody.
Yeah.
This little slight nobody, which is what he was. Just
Yeah.
nothing.
He was wayfish.
Yeah.
Much like our own
Like,
Sam
like
Roberts.
Fiona Apple, if he were a Russian.
Fiona Apple of Assassins. Yes.
And that's the first time that's ever been said.
Yes, I think so. Put it in the paper.
And did you know that there's a huge discussion going on whether Kennedy was a conservative or a liberal?
Really?
I always just assumed he was a liberal, man.
But back then, it was a whole different animal, you know.
Right.
It didn't mean the same thing, even.
He was conservative when it came to, what was happening around the world. He was liberal when it came to black people.
Yeah.
We don't have people like that anymore.
No,
they
not
could
at
just
all.
pick a couple things like this I agree with and this I don't.
You got to now go all in with
You
your
got to
party.
take the entire thing. It's like cable. You
gotta
can't
take
pick
the
and
whole
choose
package.
your
Total
channels.
package. It's a total package.
You can't pick and choose your channels. You got to take the whole package or nothing. I've been called a bleeding heart liberal and a fucking Nazi.
Who called you a liberal?
I know. It was crazy. Actually, that Twitter, what is that? Twitter.
Jay Goebbels on Twitter?
That's that Michelle Milken woman.
Oh,
has
right.
That Twitter thing. She reposts like things and then they comment on it.
Yeah.
And they posted something I tweeted and then called me a fucking, this figure's another liberal broadcaster. I'm like, what?
Right.
Me?
What was the tweet?
This was months ago. Some drunken rambling I was doing. You think I remember?
Yeah, exactly.
I bet it was about the Negro.
Yeah, or maybe you're saying something fairly liberal. Like, the age of consent should be lowered to 4.
Yeah, that could have been it, Jimmy. Right you are.
Twitchy.
Twitchy, that
Twitchy.
was it. Oh, I was saying Michaela Maroney. It was her 17th birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And I was trolling, of course. Jimmy's almost right about it. Jimmy almost nailed it. Yeah.
What was your actual tweet?
That I would like bang her.
It's something about a cherry, I think? Or
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah, you were subtle about it.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And now, if you look at Michaela Maroney's Instagram, it's just trolls posting how they want to fuck her and like her ass so that then her fans get all angry.
Yeah.
What did I write?
The verdict is in on Jody Arias. Fuckable.
Jesus. Jesus Christ.
Is this a public forum, Twitter? Is that a public forum?
I think it is.
Geez.
Yeah, Ronnie, you don't get involved with the Twitter.
The verdict.
You're a smart man.
They called me a pig.
Yeah.
Pig Anthony Cumia. Accused convicted murderer Jody Arias is fuckable. That's the headline.
Well, what do you Everything is right in that statement.
Yes.
Why are you shocked?
Did they go into the who, what, where, and when?
Here you are fighting with Patton.
Yes, I had a little brawl with Patton Oswalt.
He was cool about it.
Oh, of course.
He was totally cool about it.
Yeah. Sick Opie and Anthony co-host tweets about breaking Michaela Maroney's hymen.
This was a good one.
Update. Talk show host doubles down. I guess instead of apologizing, I said, yes.
Yes.
You should fuck her.
Yes, instead of apologizing, you said, I'll flip her over and take her asshole, too.
I doubled down. To read it in the headline, format.
Oh, my God.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
What do they write about underneath the tweet?
Well, the tweet itself says, breaking,
right.
Michaela Maroney's hymen.
Breaking
You sick fuck.
Yes, that's the new Bryan Cranston project.
Michaela Maroney's hymen legally. Happy 17th birthday.
What's the hashtag?
And then it says, take a hike, Chris Hansen is the hashtag.
yeah. Well,
and then what did they write about that?
The reference to Chris Hansen presumably is Chris Hansen, Ian.
Face.
No, it was the fourth brother from the little band that did Bop.
Oh,
that's who I meant.
All right. Best known for hosting a Dateline NBC
This is
segment.
the best part.
Blah, blah,
Your
blah.
pajama tops.
The age of consent in California, where Michaela reportedly lives, is 18. What a creep.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Like I fucking keep tabs.
Yeah, I'll just fuck her in a rest area in another state.
Yeah, exactly.
Replies Cumia.
That's a man act. Got a girl in the car. Got Michaela Maroney in the car. That's a man act. Breaking hymens, knocking down mailboxes.
Good news, guys. We got a guy that's going to prove the JFK assassination.
Oh, thank God.
Good.
We need
Mike
this.
from Connecticut.
It's been too long. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey guys, it's really it's complicated, but what you have to focus on because you have to focus on Oswald's trip to Mexico in late September.
Back in '63. What a very special time for me.
Look, and you guys were just talking about how they don't release all the files. They were supposed to release after JFK, the movie was released in 1992. There was a big controversy. They were supposed to release all the files. There was a civilian JFK assassination record review board set up.
This guy's into it. Listen to him.
The CIA has been stalling for 20 years, and they keep stalling. They keep pushing back when they're going to...
They were told to stand down.
I wonder if there's also it does frustrate me that they won't release those documents, but I wonder if there's just embarrassing things in there too.
Yeah, what could it be?
Just about Oswald and what he was doing. I still don't believe he was a patsy, but I do think that there's probably embarrassing stuff about
I
him.
don't think Oswald was a patsy either. I think he was involved in some way, definitely. If he wasn't the shooter, he knew what was going on.
Oh, this guy is so involved.
But it's like this.
Yeah.
But why can't we release all that stuff? That's the weird part.
Because they're trying to cover something up. In Mexico, when Oswald went to Mexico, there was an imposter. There was people making. No, this is all legit. This is all from a frontline document.
Let me ask you a question, dude.
He has cancer of the neck.
Guy calling in. Let me ask you a question.
Had it for years.
The Oswald Mexico thing. If all this has got a whole bunch of merit, why do they allow Oswald to be taken in by the Dallas Police Department? Like, meaning whoever set this up is brilliant and is very powerful. Obviously, they can get Oswald in and out of the country. They can do all this stuff. Why do they allow him to be taken by the Dallas Police Department and questioned for 2 days? And then why do they allow him to stand in front of the media? It makes zero sense.
Why wouldn't there be a car waiting for the guy?
That's exactly what I'm saying, yeah.
Right.
Hiding the conspiracy in plain view.
Why would they?
That's what they're doing.
Why would they mess up that little detail? A getaway car.
Why would they even let the local cops grab him? You know that wouldn't happen today.
Right, exactly. Imagine some shit kickers grabbing some fucking conspiracy.
Fucking Protestants throwing him in the back of the car, lighting up a joint. Everybody's happy.
I can't answer that question, but I would say that they probably wanted to kill Oswald after he shot Tippit. If he shot Tippit, if you get into the details of that.
This guy.
No, they're pretty well known. He shot Tippett. He shot J.D. Tippett. They're pretty well known.
You weren't alive there, Jim, so you can't say that.
You weren't alive.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's a great argument.
Face, Jimmy.
That's a great argument. I wasn't alive when the dinosaurs were here either, but I believe the rumor.
I know, but just because somebody tells you something doesn't mean it's true, man. People
You're telling us something.
Please repeat that into the mirror. I know.
I'm not saying you should believe me, but don't dismiss me so easily.
I like this guy. He's making good sense. I like this guy.
Yeah, I'm not dismissing you as a man, sweetie. But I am dismissing the idea that Oswald did not kill Tippit, because he did kill Tippit.
Yeah,
Well,
come on.
maybe he did.
Maybe not,
He
Jim.
did. He shot him.
Maybe not.
There's no maybe. He did it. He did it.
Well,
let me
Ruby
tell you,
fixed
let me
it so
tell
we...
you legit.
Go ahead, Mike. You're almost done, though.
Mike?
Let's
Yeah,
go.
I'm sure I'm almost done. None of you guys are going to do this. All you have to do is type in PBS, Oswald, Mexico into Google.
Now I won't do it because you gave that dumb, childish challenge.
All right, hold on, Mike. Hold
You have
on.
white stuff in the corner
Hold
of your
on.
mouth.
We got Leonard on the line with Mike. Leonard's from Atlanta.
Leonard
Go ahead,
Lawrence.
Leonard. What do you got?
Hey, listen, Mike, he's the same kind of fella that believes if you type in alien on the internet that you believe what it reads.
How many attacks?
How old were you when this guy was assassinated?
We were not talking about
You don't know what the fuck you talking about. You spouting off information been pumped in your little pea brain all your life.
Shut the fuck up, you fucking southern misogynist piece of shit.
This is a little microcosm of the Civil War. I like this.
Sure.
Connecticut, Atlanta.
I think Atlanta's going to take this one.
You think they're going to win this time?
I think Atlanta's got Connecticut on this one.
'cause
I got Atlanta in my bracket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's an asshole. He's what is he talking about? You don't know
Connecticut doesn't have a deep, powerful speaking voice at all.
No.
You don't know what the fuck I am. I could be a homosexual. Listen.
Oh, jeez. Perish the thoughts, sir.
Just took a weird turn, didn't it?
That's right.
See that?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna have a dick up my ass right now, for all you know, bumping jizz into me.
I might be that fat bastard like that Jimmy D sausage. You don't know.
All right, give Mike.
Now name different
wish
people.
I was in
Leonard, give Mike. Give Mike a chance for a second.
Go ahead,
Mike.
Len.
I don't know how to respond to this guy. He just seems like some yahoo who doesn't know what he's talking about. I know what I'm talking about, so I feel confident in what I'm saying. Whether you guys choose to believe me or not, that's up to you. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, I will make a legitimate no shit point. All right, now you know what you're talking about. Where do you get your information from? Were you there that day? Were you right along with Jackie and said, "Oh shit, I think something's wrong"?
The article that I'm pointing to that talks about Oswald in Mexico, which is vetted by the Public Broadcasting Corporation, has links to the actual images, the documents that they've scanned. You can see everything. You can see how the CIA.
He's making us go to the internet to
maybe
He was lying about Oswald in Mexico. There's details there they're not talking about.
You don't know what he was doing there. You just know that he was there.
If you have a TV set on top of another TV set, you might be a redneck.
You damn right. If you listen to Opie and Anthony so much that you have dreams about it, you might be right.
Wait on the anniversary.
I'm sure it's a wet dream, too.
On the anniversary.
On the anniversary. Thank you, Leonard in Atlanta. Mikey, we'll look up your shit on the internet, all right?
Mike's passionate. I understand that. And you know, I respect the fact that it means something to him. I believe me, dude. I wish I had your conviction. I don't. I've read a lot of the conspiracy stuff, a lot of it, and I just don't believe it because of things like they ignore certain logical thing because it would disprove the conspiracy. So to me, they don't mean to be. They're not being dishonest, but they're invested in the conspiracy being true as opposed to finding what's true.
Why don't they just release all the documents, considering that everyone still is pretty. Strongly opinionated on this, and Ronnie says 70% of the country.
I think because they
believe in a conspiracy. I think that number's a little lower these days, but
You think it's even higher?
Lower.
Oh, you think it's lower than that?
A little bit, but I think it's still over 50% of the people.
I don't think it doesn't have to go to the full conspiracy, but everyone thinks something's
is
fucking
not right.
weird.
Okay.
Not just that, because then you follow it with the Martin Luther King, the Bobby Kennedy, even the Malcolm X. I mean, within 4 years, they just shut up anyone who was
had some shit going on.
And now it's on to the floor. That was so bad. Well, and now it's on to Chicago. And
I'm going to have a roll first in the kitchen.
Who was the guy who shot Martin Luther King?
James Earl Ray.
I had him on the phone one time when I was doing radio in Florida.
Really?
They were he was looking for a kidney, and somebody hooked me up with him, right? So I'm talking to him on the phone, and I'm just fucking around. It's like shock jock days, and you know what I mean. Like anyone who got on the phone, you tried to embarrass them, and then your listeners would high five. So that's about how bright we were. You know,
James Earl Ray, and you didn't take it seriously.
The whole time anyone is talking, just fart noises. They're like, it's fucking awesome. So,
like James Earl Ray was doing a lot of interviews.
Yeah, right.
Something so special that day.
I would just blew it, but he said something to me. I swear to God, I'll never forget it. He goes, and I bring up about him shooting Martin Luther King, and he goes, "What?" And I go, when the assassination, he goes, "Dude," he says, "I'm in general population in a 99% black fucking prison." He goes, "If one of these guys thought I wasn't set up, they'd kill me in 5 minutes." He goes, "How do I walk around here unless everybody in the place knows that was a fucking joke and a setup?"
Wow.
I'll never forget that.
What about
How
the white
fuck
guys
did he
in
live
prison,
the whole
though?
time?
Yeah,
Huh?
What about the white guys
White
in prison?
guys were just quietly giving them a little thumbs up. Here's some extra mashed potatoes.
Yeah, well
But isn't
done.
that strange when you
That
think
is
about it?
strange.
That guy was...
High-profile guys aren't normally killed in jail, it seems. Except Dahmer, but that was a prison infraction. Like, they all survive. Sirhan's alive. Manson's alive.
The guy that killed Martin Luther King?
But I mean, all the guys who killed Malcolm X who lived through jail. One of them just got out. They were allowed to live in prison. And they were black guys, and they shot him, and they were allowed to live in jail. Other black guys didn't rip
Where's
their throats
this
out.
prison justice we always hear
You
about?
don't hear about it.
No,
It's
the
never happens.
pedophiles are in there like everybody else.
Wait till he gets in there. He's going to realize that.
like
no,
this
he's
is
going to
code
realize
of ethics.
nothing.
Bunch of men of honor.
Yeah.
No.
Men of honor in prison. Right?
Instead, they're all sitting around watching Breaking Bad together.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy who lives next to Manson is the guy who killed Bill Cosby's kid. It was just in Rolling Stone the other day. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
They're buddies in prison.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Manson's 80 now.
Yeah.
And marrying a 25-year-old.
God bless.
Well,
That hit
we'll
yesterday.
see. If anyone's going to tie him down.
Well, he said he's a little nervous about getting married.
Sure.
He's got
It's a
cold
big
feet.
step.
He's got
feet.
cold
It's a
feet.
big step
Manson's got
for him.
cold feet as far as marrying a
There it is.
25-year-old. He's 80 now, huh?
Yeah.
You get plugs in prison? What's that about?
Yeah, he looks good, doesn't
Just
he?
always had a great head of hair.
Yeah.
That Manson hair.
That
is
nice Kris Kringle wink.
good genetics,
I
I think.
understand the charisma.
Looks like some kind of wig on top, though, doesn't it? It looks like a salesman.
Well, it's a California thing. You want to do the tips.
The George Michael for the
It's got a
wedding.
little salt and pepper on the sides. He's a little gray.
That tattoo's holding up pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He uses just for psychopaths on the top of his head.
Yes. It's in a bottle shaped like an axe.
It's wonderful.
Is that his girl?
That's his broad, huh?
That's just- she's
Sam.
cute.
Wow, what the
I'd
fuck?
fuck her.
Boy, she's got a little squeaky from thing about her.
that's
He
what they
does
were
have
saying.
a type.
He does.
Manson has a
He
type.
does.
Exactly.
He likes the elephants.
Oh, God, she's
fucking-
batshit
yeah,
crazy,
she's
though. You can
cute,
see it
though.
in her eyes.
You're still getting Bonnie McFarlane, but she has better taste than men.
How does Manson score a chick like this?
There's always some dumb woman that wants to marry. Richard Ramirez got married in jail. There's always some dumb woman that wants to marry a guy who fucking raped and murdered
Usually, though,
somebody.
they're like, I think the old fag hags have now gone to prisoners.
She's hot, man.
So she's kind of cute. There's
Look
some
at
kinda-
his face. It's the way she's fingering his asshole right now. As we're sitting here watching
He
this.
is wincing.
You would not be able to think that he'd be able to have somebody next to him like this.
She's got a little Casey Anthony quality about her.
She's very pretty.
Maybe that's what he found
I want to
attractive.
smooch with her in her big chin.
Yeah.
I
She
just
gets little
want
bangs.
I just want to know what her parents did wrong. That this 25-year-old is trying to marry
Do you
Charles Manson.
Do you think she had to go home and talk him up?
Oh,
But he's really a
Christ.
nice guy,
Yeah,
Dad.
She's like, I have bad news, and she started taking Roman Polanski movies off the shelf and throwing them out.
Did Charlie have to call her father
Yeah.
and ask?
What are your intentions, sir?
Yes.
Well, I think I'm going to go to the junkyard and find the man underneath the big pile of garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to ask for your daughter's, I was going to say blood and marriage. That's
Oh,
just
no,
corny.
that's-
Stop it.
Well, with that, we could go to another guy who has his 2 cents on the JFK assassination.
It's going to be a very
I don't know
busy
if people
day.
know, but it's 50 years ago today.
Wow.
And by the way, Ron said 52% the next day. That shows you how fast I think that the country got fucking shitty. As soon as that really wrecked
And everyone
things.
ran, everyone ran toward that fucking grassy knoll immediately.
Yeah, who runs towards bullets? I've never met anyone that runs towards gunshots.
Well,
You run away from them.
not really. When shit goes down in Manhattan, I always run forward. You want to check shit out?
Do you? That's.
But you try to go viral.
What?
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
but they said they were running and pointing though. They weren't running because that was the way out of that Dealey Plaza that day.
Yeah, I'd like to know what that was. I don't. Maybe they did think it came from there. The echo. But there was
Maybe
no one
it was
at
just
all.
the echo thing.
Yeah, no one showed.
You ever go to Dealey Plaza, Ronnie?
No, I'm never going to go down there.
Pretty amazing,
Nah,
actually,
I'm done
to
with
check
those
it out.
fuckers. I'm done with them, the Cowboys, all that shit down there.
Yeah.
Done with Texas.
Jared, you got your 2 cents on this?
Yeah.
Take a communion.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, Jared. What's up, man?
Not much. You'll have to pardon my voice if I'm a little
seductive.
I'm a little
sexy.
Sinuses, you know.
That's
time
I
of year,
believe me, I live with it.
Right.
Big fan of you guys. You know,
Thank you very much. More of a setup, if you don't
This is
mind.
good. Yes,
Cool.
please. Just
Well,
continue
Sagittarius.
talking without getting to your
Yes.
point.
Are you Protestant?
Yeah,
we need to know
Walks in the
that.
park.
Oh, Jesus.
The big thing with the JFK conspiracy is it's had enough time now that it's going to keep going and going and going and going and going, and people are just going to keep coming up with new ways to.
Well, that's true. It's sort of like the thing to do now.
Sure.
We're talking
Instead
about
of
blurred lines at this
accurately.
point.
Oh,
Blurred lines.
How many people can be walking right now through Dealey Plaza today, just looking down like they might find a clue?
Yeah.
Fucking blithering idiots.
Find a fucking shell casing they missed.
Pick it up with a pencil. Oh.
Yes.
What is this?
All right, get me an evidence bag.
Yeah.
Yes,
Everybody
something.
wants to be, you know, that guy who finds something.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think they've cleaned up.
Yeah.
So what do you got there? What's your point, Jared?
Well, honestly, like I said, the big thing is I don't know if we'll ever really, you know, find out if it was, you know, something.
Good one.
Something a little, you know.
You're a little nervous, aren't you?
Yeah. Jesus.
You're a little nervous, Nelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you get past the phone screener?
Oh, boy.
Is it a screener or a lead inner?
Wow.
Who's screening?
All right, Jared. We're going to let you go, pal.
Yeah, collect your thoughts.
call.
But you can call back.
Yeah, call back for the 100th.
Call back, though.
Well, I'll be here. Can you believe it's been 100 years?
100.
Jeff and Indy. Jeff.
Yeah, boy.
Enough with that shit.
Boo.
Just get to what you want to say.
Oswald did it, man. Oswald did it. If you go back in the mid-'90s, who held the range record at 29 palms for the longest shot?
A guy named Frank Tortle.
Mitch Cumstein.
Lee Harvey Oswald. I think, you know what
Nice reveal. I like how he did that. Who did it? That man was Lee.
Nice setup.
We're supposed to be all like, whoa.
Oh, yeah, you should.
Damn it.
This is the wrong day to try to use Oswald as a reveal. Who was murdered in Dallas? Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
No, but it's just, for years, you know, you look at the data, you look at all this stuff, and then you realize the guy, like Jimmy says, the guy was alive for like a couple days saying, I'm a patsy. That's it. That's all we know. That's all he said. And why would we believe this guy? This guy was everywhere.
Well, the entire Dallas Police Department was in on the thing because, you know, they don't care that they look like bumbling clods, that they lost the president and then him, and that one of their own cops was killed. They were all in on it. It's a big thing. They burn the notes because that's what you do.
I don't know.
I know.
All right, that was great.
I'm just kidding.
They all have. There's
Thank you, sir.
nothing
Great
new.
call.
There's no new ground
Really
being
was a
broken
good
with
call.
these callers.
The video, you know, once in a while, the video, when they figure out ways to enhance the video, maybe something like that will help, or computer graphic imaging on videos that already exist, like on the Nick's film or Mary Mormon. All that stuff. There was one woman in the fucking book depository filming, and of course, we've talked about before, the dumb clod broad. She was on the floor below Oswald, and she was filming from that angle, and fucking dummy didn't know how to use the video camera.
Yeah, she turned it off.
She turned it the wrong way, and so it's pointing just in shrubs while this assassination's happening. I hope that every day she went home, her husband hit her hands with a hammer, cracked her fucking wrist with a fucking... What a dope.
All right, we got food, so why don't we take a break?
A lot of fun.
Make love.
The great Ron Bennington is here today.
It is.
Very
It's
cool.
true.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very cool.
What makes you get up so early there and come in
Well, I
today?
just wanted to come see you guys while you're still in the mornings. I thought it'd be a lot of fun.
Well, that's true.
Swing by.
Before Before the big switch over
Yeah,
to-
the big relaunch of the channel.
But we're turning this into a media destination.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what we've been told.
I don't know.
More
what
on
even
that
means.
after this.
The Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM. Alright, well, that sucked. To hear the Opie and Anthony Show 5 days a week live on satellite radio, online on your phone or tablet, or even on demand, go to SiriusXM.com. Also, interact with the Opie and Anthony Show on Twitter, @Opie Radio, @Anthony Cumia, and at Jim Norton.
2.25 looks like.
Chrysler.
Most active stocks: Chrysler, Sperry round. It looks like
Sperry. Yeah, that's like a military.
Ford
thing.
Motors up there. RCA's up there.
RCA.
American Motors. It was all about the car
It was
company.
all fucking cars, man. That was the shit.
U.S. Steel.
U.S. We're bigger than U.S. Steel.
Looks like they closed at 45, I think. It's hard to read this. General Motors. The Studebaker stock.
Studebaker. I wish I would have held on to that.
And Xerox.
Xerox?
And Xerox.
Xerox. Get it?
Not many of those companies still doing well today.
No. Xerox is doing okay.
They're hanging in there.
They're doing all right.
They're reinventing themselves a bit.
I bet they never knew the government would have had to have bailed out all those
car
top
companies
stocks there.
What about Studebaker?
The old Studebaker.
But they only closed it. Looks like $6.
Oh, just cheap shit.
I think. I don't know.
Market closed early due to the assassination. November 22nd. The Dow was at 711.
711.
That's something. And now we just cracked 16,000.
Unbelievable.
On the Dow.
The president is assassinated as Dallas multitude hails him. Leftists accused of murders of Kennedy and Dallas cop. Final events of his life. They have the whole schedule you had that day.
And they really, God, it's so weird because in hindsight, you just 50 years later, people are still debating what happened and everything.
Right.
And there's the paper, which is like, here's the news.
They got the picture from where Oswald was, though, right
yeah?
away. And they're pointing at the car or another car.
Like, here's
kind of showing that you could make the shot. Sniper assassinated President Kennedy from this window. The president's car was at upper right arrow. I don't. Okay. Texas Governor John Connally was seriously injured by sniper's bullet.
He's okay.
And then this is kind of horrible. A last kiss on the lips of her dead husband.
Oh, Jesus.
It says,
shocking.
Representative Henry B. Gonzalez of San Antonio said tonight he watched the nation's first lady, caked with blood, kiss her lifeless husband on the lips in a last goodbye and take the ring off her finger and place it on his. I couldn't take it, Gonzalez said. I walked away.
I couldn't take it.
Minutes later, Gonzalez said 4 attendants wheeled the bronze coffin containing the body of JFK out of Dallas Parkland Hospital for the last trip home.
Man.
And then, of course, they just move on right away. It's fucked up. They already start hosing shit down.
Hose it down.
Because we talk about this. Talented Lady Bird is now the first lady.
I know you feeling the flow, but Opie's mother hucking things trying to get blown. Then we come to play around and we still in the show. I know you never heard nothing like this before.
How important is the board? Bored you'll never be, and don't worry about getting shot when you're with Anthony. Oh yeah, on the edge of your care. Cause you really want to hear Opie, Anthony, and Jimmy. Just keep it right here.
It's the Opie and Anthony show.
Yeah, the Opie and Anthony show.
Yeah, check it. It's the Opie and Anthony show. Yeah.
It's the Opie and Anthony show. Yeah.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, now Mike Tyson up in this bitch. It's the Opie and Anthony show.
Enough of this palaver. Let's get this show on the road.
Yeah, let's do that. Good morning, everyone. It's the Opie and Anthony Show, the Friday edition. It was 50 years ago today.
That Sergeant Pepper taught his band to play?
Yeah.
Something?
Yeah, that's one of the 50-year things.
That was 20, I think, right?
20 years?
Yeah. That's how
now
the
it's
song
about
goes.
$50, what I'm
Probably.
saying. If you think about it, really.
Yes.
Actually, it's 40. All right.
All right. It's the Kennedy assassination.
50 years ago today, and I just tweeted. The Daily News did a really good job today. The Post got lazy. The Post has 3 pages from 50 years ago. The Daily
Just
News
of the Kennedy assassination.
Right. But the Daily News said, you know what? Why don't we just reprint the whole fucking paper from 50 years ago?
Yeah.
And it's great because besides the JFK stuff, you really get a look at what life was about 50 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
The paper itself was 5 cents.
5 cents? That's an outrage.
And after 50 years, it's only $1 now. That's not too bad, I
Why
think.
would you pay even 5 cents if you could just get the online version?
Oh, that's
See,
right.
because
There wasn't one.
What happened was then.
It starts out Kennedy assassinated. Johnson
What?
sworn as president.
Oh.
Leftist jailed as slayer.
Leftist. See, you lefties, you're always causing trouble.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got the Daily Almanac. They won't forget the day.
What was the Dow at on that day? Because we just broke 16,000 on the Dow.
They had 100. I think it was 100 listed stocks.
Wow.
But I don't see an actual total for the Dow that day. Wait. This is kind of hard to read, actually. Most active stocks are 2.5 cents.
It's probably like the company that made whites-only fountain signs. Made a fortune.
Chrysler closed at 78, a little over 78, with a change of...
Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show.
Never before has one radio show been so extreme. So vulgar.
Fuck you, I'm not a pussy.
I was accustomed to getting blown and having my ass eaten.
This is insane. I mean, this is insane.
So flatulent.
Why do we even try? Let's just fart into the mics and call it a day.
This is the funniest shit ever.
It's a weird show. That's what's real. That's the sex.
Tune in with no expectations.
Quite simply, the greatest show in the history of broadcasting.
Here we are, the Opie and Anthony Show.
Another 4 hours of love.
You guys having a good time or what?
Yeah, check, check it. I'm up early in the morning, yawning. Put Opie Anthony, get Jimmy Tranny pointing. Opie like brother man, Ant wants to join the clan. Jimmy on the other hand, he working the other hand.
Turn my headphones up. There are horrible people to say in this old objectionable human beings, and I want you to know unacceptable to my scene, but I'll give it a go. 50 Cent, Larry King, Opie.